And then they would teach you what are called the 4 cornerstones of Dim-Mak, or the 4 foundation forms of Dim-Mak. Dim-Mak actually does have 4 forms of its own. These aren't taught until much later. So I thought, well, many people throughout the world now are learning from my stuff. They've been learning for many, many years. My students, of course, my own students, have been learning about Dim-Mak for many, many years. A lot of them are acupuncturists. And so maybe it was about time to bring out the 4 cornerstones so as to really lock Dim-Mak, the Dim-Mak part of their training, into their subconscious brain. And that's what these 4 cornerstone forms actually do. I've never put out a book on this. I may not even. I'm just going to put it down on DVD so that those people who have learnt, of course there are going to be those who will get these forms and learn them first up. Well, okay, you can do that, but you're not going to get very far. You must learn one of the foundation forms first. It's like Bruce Lee, you know, when he learned Tai Chi, he learned Wing Chun, he learned a whole range of stuff on his path up. And then people tried to learn what he knew from up here. And a lot of them failed because they didn't learn how he learnt. They tried to learn what he knew at that stage in his life, not how he knew it. And that's pretty important. The foundation forms are based upon the 4 foundations of the Earth, of Mother Earth, per se, as in Chinese philosophy. So there is the rivers or water, there's the air or the wind, there's the valleys or the lower parts of the earth, and then there's the mountains, the higher parts of the earth. The first 2, the water and the air, of course, are very yin and yang, and the other 2 are lesser yin and yang. And they all have all 4 cornerstones have their own attributes, of course. The first one that you learn is the river or the water. And it's yin. But because it's water, it's got a mass behind it, and it's powerful. It's physically powerful, and it's more, well, it's more physical than the air form or the wind form. And you have moves like the beautifully flowing moves. The first move, pow, like that. So there's the river coming down, bang, flowing through the river. And all these forms were invented by people of genius, of course. They literally based them upon their elements or their attributes of, for instance, water. So you see the river gently flowing, and all of a sudden you'll do a leap around and pow, 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 pow. So to represent, you know, the river going over some rapids or something, and then you've got the river going down a waterfall, and all of those attributes are put into this first form that you learn. Then you learn the air or the wind form. Now it's very powerful, but it's less of it can be very physical, of course. Wind can be devastating, of course, but it's less of a physical force. It's more up in the air. So the first moves of that one are literally, it's like the air and the clouds just floating around. So that one starts like this, and it's done slowly as well. In many. Then we have the wind picking up and pow, pow. Then we have a devastating elbow shot, and then we go into another few movements, and then we slow down again, back into a nice little breeze, and so on. And so it carries on like that. All of these forms, by the way, have very important and very powerful Qigong methods built into them. The water form, the Qigong method, is done to the 4 directions, and so are the Qigongs in the other 3 foundation forms. So then we have the valley form, or the earth, the lower earth form. Now that one is much more like this, grounded. So you have many more movements like and many and jumps and leaping and pushing your body into the ground. And then we have the last one, which is the mountains. Now it's the same. It's also to do with earth, but it's a higher, lofty part of the earth. So it has a greater connection to the Shen, or the spirit. It's like the full moon as opposed to the new moon, if you like. So the mountain form still has very powerful physical movements, but they're all up. They're all up movements, mainly the upper body. Very few kicks in the mountain form. It still has very powerful grounding forms, but it's also lifting up. So you're learning to separate the lower earth from the upper earth in that form. These forms are brilliant. I've been doing them for many, many years, and it's just now that I'm actually starting to teach my sons, because I feel that they are, even though they're still quite young, they've been training since they were literally 4 years of age, and so I'm only now starting to teach them. So I thought, well, okay, it's probably time to start teaching everyone. So I'll have the first one out on DVD very soon. Just look on my website, taijiworld.com, and as I finish them, I always like to teach to a video rather in a teaching situation, because that brings much more out of me, because I see what people are doing. I say, hey, that's not. Whereas if I'm just here teaching it without anyone watching, then I just do it, and you don't get as much from me. So I like to do it in a teaching situation. So I've got to wait until I hold my classes in order to film this. I'll be doing the river or the water form, in fact, in about 6 days' time. It's now the 25th of January 2009, so they should be ready in about a week's time. Okay, thank you very much.